Hey friend, so you've decided that you want to lose weight and you know that exercise is going to be part of your weight loss journey, but you've got a whole ton of excuses in your head as to why you don't want to exercise or why you can't exercise. A common challenge that we can often face when it comes to exercising in perimenopause and menopause are hot flushes. So today we're going to be digging into hot flushes, what they are, why they happen, and how exercise can actually help. Now, speaking of getting sweaty, today's episode is brought to you by one of my favourite anti-perspirant deodorants. It is a cream, it is clean, it is EDC free. It smells amazing, and if you would like to get your hands on one of these for free, all you have to do is leave a 5-star written review on iTunes, take a screenshot of your review and send that screenshot to me at the email in the show notes, which is theproductivemum@gmail.com. Each month I'm going to be giving away some of these amazing antiperspirant deodorants, but if you're a bit impatient like me and you want to get your hands on one of these amazing antiperspirant deodorants right now, send me an email and I will send you all the information. Okay, are you ready to get all hot and flustered? Let's dig in. Hey friend, welcome to the Fit Productive Mum podcast. I'm your host SJ. I'm an outspoken women's health advocate, productivity guru, daughter of the king, and a 40-something mum to a sassy, independent daughter. If you feel stressed out, overwhelmed, and hate what you see in the mirror, then that stops right here. I'm here to arm you with the knowledge you need to better understand your mind and body so that you can live a life free of diets, fitness fads, and comparison. If you're ready to commit to making yourself a priority, to reconnect with your body and be a present, productive parent, then this is the podcast for you. Grab that superfood smoothie and let's dig in. Okay, today we are going to get all hot and flustered. We're going to be talking about hot flushes or hot flashes, depending on how you choose to say it. We're going to be talking about what they are, what causes them, and then I'm going to be giving you some tips and advice of how exercise can help with hot flashes in perimenopause and menopause. Now, the reason we're talking about hot flushes, and I am going to say hot flushes because I find saying flash weird. So the reason we're talking about hot flushes is because often this can be a barrier to exercise. So many of the women that I work with who are experiencing hot flushes can often feel like themselves, and you might be able to resonate with this, like feeling self-conscious about sweating or not wanting to get hot and sweaty because they're worried about the way it's going to make them look, the sweat patches on the clothes and all sorts of things like that. And of course, when we do exercise, we do get sweaty. But there is like this common misconception that if you're doing exercise, it's more likely to cause hot flushes, when in fact the opposite is true. And in true Fit Productive Mum fashion, we're going to be digging into like what they are, what causes them, and then I'm going to leave you with some really like tangible tips of how you can take control of them, the sort of exercises that are going to help, and then a couple of products and ideas of things that will help you to like feel more comfortable and less self-conscious when it comes to sweating. Okay, so first of all, let's dig in to what are hot flushes. So these are a form of flushing, surprise, often caused by the changing hormone levels that are characteristic of perimenopause and menopause. So they are often like, you might experience them as a feeling of like intense heat with sweating, like a rapid heartbeat, and they typically can last from like 2 to 30 minutes. I've certainly experienced a couple of these. Mine tend to be shorter. They normally last maybe 2 to 5 minutes. But if you are experiencing these for like anything longer, 30 minutes, oh my friend, you have my sympathies. Now, let's be honest, these are not fun. I think that's definitely fair to say. And really, what they look like, what they feel like commonly is a sudden feeling of warmth in the upper body, which is usually like you might feel this more intensely over your face, over your neck, over your chest, and your skin might redden as if you're blushing. Honestly, like my face just goes ping, bright red, like in my cheeks. It's just like, really embarrassing. It can feel really embarrassing. And a hot flush can also cause you to sweat. And then the fun part of this, and you may or may not have experienced this, is that if you lose too much body heat, you might feel the chills afterwards. So often what happens is you might get a hot flush and then get like a cold chill, and you might have these during the day, but what can often happen is you get these in the form of night sweats. So these are hot flashes that happen at night, and they often disrupt your sleep. So if you find yourself waking up in the night feeling really, really hot and really sweaty, and maybe you're having to get up and change your pajamas and your sheets and that sort of thing, it's really likely that what you're experiencing are hot flushes. So what is it that actually cause them? Well, of course, it's down to hormones, because that's what we're talking about on this podcast, is weight loss by balancing our hormones. So they occur when we have decreased estrogen levels, because estrogen levels can influence and support our body's thermostat. So the hypothalamus, which is like your body's like thermostat control, it becomes more sensitive as your estrogen levels change, and it then becomes more sensitive to slight changes in body temperature. So when your hypothalamus thinks that your body is too warm, it starts off a chain of events, and one of those is a hot flush to cool you down. And what the hot flush actually is when your blood vessels that are near the surface of your skin, they widen, which is normal, to cool you off. And this then makes you break out in a sweat. And you might experience like a rapid heart rate, and then often you might have a chill afterwards, because you've had this like hot flush and you've released all this heat because your body's thinking that you're too hot, and then you actually end up losing too much heat and your body then thinks that you're cold. It's like a constant cycle of like wanting to take your clothes off and put your clothes back on again. And I really want to stress that this is normal. And if you are experiencing these like I do, I honestly really, really sympathize with you, because these in themselves can be like a self-perpetuating cycle, because you're worrying about when they're going to happen, which makes you anxious and makes you sweat and makes you more likely to have them. And you're always kind of like, and then when you actually have them, you're thinking, oh my gosh, is everyone looking at me? I'm sweating. Have I got sweat patches on my arms? Like all of the things, which then can make it last even longer. So this is why one of the things that I mentioned at the start of the episode is the anti-perspirant deodorant that I am absolutely loving, and I am giving that away. I'm choosing a few people each month who leave me a 5-star written review on iTunes to win one of those deodorants. Wherever you are in the world, I will send that to you, and I'm going to choose the next person at the end of April. But if you want to get your hands on that anti-perspirant deodorant now, because you're impatient like I am, send me an email and I will work out how to get that over to you. It is made from a company that is based in the UK, so if you're in the UK, it's quite straightforward. But if you're outside of the UK and you want a really good quality, endocrine disrupting, chemical-free product that is actually smells nice and is actually going to help you to just feel more confident, perhaps when you are exercising, when you are experiencing hot flushes, then this is definitely the one for you, and I will figure out a way with you of how to get that product over to you. So definitely go and leave me a 5-star review if you would like to win one of those. Okay, so let's talk about exercise and how exercise can help with hot flushes. Now, generally, women who exercise report fewer and less severe hot flushes. And I hear this myself quite often. The scientific community does not usually like results that are self-reported because they like to do clinical trials and they want to have control and that sort of thing. And really what we're talking about is anecdotal evidence. But I think there is a lot to be said for somebody like me who is coaching women like you on a regular basis, who is hearing the struggles and the experiences, and I hear common themes. And one of these common themes is that exercise helps to reduce hot flushes. Now, there was one study that did measure the effects of exercise on hot flushes, and in this study, women started with 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week, and then increased that to 45 minutes 5 times a week, and they did this for 16 weeks. And the women who exercised reported fewer and less severe hot flushes, but more importantly, they were measured to sweat less and have less blood flow to the arms and chest during a hot flush. So in my mind, there is definitely a link between the benefits of exercise and the reduction in hot flushes. And I think that's something really important to remember, because this can be a common barrier to exercise, is the worry that you are going to sweat. And sweating is normal. Sweating during exercise is normal. And you know those people that go into the gym and their hair is perfect and their makeup is perfect and they come out of the gym looking exactly the same as they did when they went in? That's not normal, okay? I come out of the gym after a workout with my hair stuck to my head with sweat, my face is bright pink, and then I go and have a shower and get myself together. So please, if you are feeling embarrassed about sweating, please don't let that stop you from going to do an exercise. Maybe you need to go think about where you are exercising if you are feeling self-conscious around other people. But honestly, sweating's normal. It's part of our body's normal reaction. So please don't feel embarrassed and don't let that stop you from going and exercising. Okay, so let's go back to the study, and the women in the study who exercised were found to have better thermoregulation. So that means that their body had a better ability to control its internal temperature. So the hypothalamus, your internal thermostat, was less sensitive. So if you remember at the start of the episode, I said to you that when estrogen levels change, it makes the hypothalamus more sensitive to changes in body temperature. But the study found that women who exercised were better at regulating their internal body temperature. And that means that they started to sweat sooner and more heavily when they were hot. And this is a good thing, because sweating is one of the body's ways of regulating temperature. So we should not be afraid of sweating, especially when we're exercising. And remember that these same women sweated less when having hot flushes. And in my mind, I actually think the link there is that your body is more used to sweating. It's more used to that change in temperature. You are more used to that change in temperature. So it kind of feels a bit more normal. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more detail in a moment. The other thing that's really important to remember when it comes to exercise and hot flushes is that being overweight increases your likelihood of having and experiencing hot flushes. And as we know, exercise helps with weight loss, so it can help to decrease hot flushes in this way. Now, let's just go back to what I was saying myself about a way that I think actually exercise helps is that it basically gets you used to sweating. Now, here in the UK, we don't tend to have an awful lot of air conditioning. I mean, in my years as a teacher in secondary schools, when it came to the summer, I would be sweating with 30 teenagers in my classroom. Most of us only tend to have air conditioning in our cars. It's not a common feature in homes in the UK because we don't tend to get that kind of weather. But for those of you who live in sort of more warmer parts of the world, should I say, you're probably used to living your life in a more like air-conditioned environment. And if you live in an air-conditioned environment and maybe you're not exercising and you're not exerting yourself, or even if you are just doing your workouts in the gym with the air conditioning on, then you probably aren't used to that getting hot and sweaty feeling very often. And when you do then experience these hot flushes, it might feel like they're more of a big deal to you. However, and this is my opinion, like this isn't scientific theory or anything like that, this is just my thought process, is that if you exercise enough to break a sweat, like several times a week, and you're comfortable with that, and you are fit and healthy, and your heart rate is going up and coming back down quickly, then in my opinion, you're going to be more comfortable with that getting hot and sweaty feeling because you're used to it. And therefore, and this is like Sara-Jane's theory, is to you, like hot flushes might not seem so bad. So what I'm suggesting is that if you are somebody who does spend a lot of time in an air-conditioned environment, if your home is air-conditioned, if your car is air-conditioned, if your like shopping centres are air-conditioned, if you are working in an air-conditioned environment and you're working out in an air-conditioned environment, then bear in mind that you probably are not used to this sort of like change in temperature, and you're used to sort of staying the same temperature, and your body isn't having to regulate your temperature in the same way. So when you do have a hot flush, it can feel a bit more severe for you because you're not used to it. If you are somebody who perhaps like runs outside, maybe you go running in the evening or in the mornings, or you go for a run at lunchtime when it's warmer, or maybe you are doing your workout in your garden, or you're going to hot yoga, or you're going to a spin studio where the air conditioning doesn't work. I don't know. But if you're used to being in an environment where it's actually your body that is regulating your body temperature, and you're used to that getting hot and sweaty feeling because that is normal, then when it comes to hot flushes, in my opinion, they are less likely to have like a negative impact on you because you are used to getting hot and sweaty. You're probably like choosing to use a deodorant like the one that I keep talking about. You're probably choosing clothes that are going to like support you better if you are getting hot and sweaty, like thinking about the colours and all of that sort of thing. If you are, getting warm, thinking about how you layer your clothes, all of those sorts of things, you're already preparing for that. And whilst I don't always appreciate the climate in this country, we don't have a lot of air conditioning here in the UK. So I think we are better used to and adapting to the changes in temperature. But that doesn't mean that we don't moan about it, because we always moan in England, like it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too windy, it's too sunny, like we're never happy. But just something for you to think about. And I would love for you to share with me your thoughts on my theory That was Sara-Jane's theory. Okay, so let's talk about exercises that can help with hot flushes. So really what you want to be doing is doing an exercise that is going to make you sweat. Now, if you are someone who doesn't exercise at all at the moment, and any form of exercise, whether it's like getting up from the chair and walking around the block is going to make you sweat, then you do that. What I want you to do is to think about your level of fitness, think about the exercise that you are or you might not be doing right now, and think about how you can change that exercise so that it's something that makes you sweat. So it could be HIIT training, it could be walking with like weights and walking briskly, like up hills or hiking. It could be running, jogging, it could be circuit training, it could be gardening, it could be mowing the lawn, it could be dancing, it could be Zumba, just something that is going to get you sweating. Now, the question that I want to ask you as I am talking about this and I'm like suggesting these types of exercises is, how does that make you feel? How do you feel about doing those kind of exercises, and how do you feel about getting sweaty? Because if that is like stressing you out, then a couple of bonus tips that I would really, really suggest that you consider thinking about. If you feel embarrassed about working out, exercising and sweating in front of other people, don't go sign yourself up for a gym. Get yourself an at-home workout program. And if you don't know which one to use, send me an email and I will send you a link and I will help you choose the right program for you with my affiliate company. Get yourself, so bonus tip number 2, get yourself some comfy workout gear, something that you feel comfortable in, something that you are not worrying about whether you have got sweat patches in your crotch, in your armpits. Like, black is always a good option. Grey is not always a good choice when it comes to sweating. Get some good workout gear, make sure it's comfy. Get some good trainers and socks for your trainers. And a sports bra is an absolute must. Like, you definitely want to be getting yourself a really high quality sports bra that is comfortable, that is going to support your breasts and is not going to chafe under your boobs and is going to help keep everything in place. Because the last thing that you want to be worrying about, and I know this from personal experience, you don't want to be worrying about if your bra hurts. You don't want to be worrying about whether you have got a sweaty crotch or sweaty armpits or sweaty back and people are staring at you. Invest in some good gear and you will feel more comfortable and you are more likely to show up and do that exercise. And my final tip, and I'm going to keep talking about this product because it has been a game changer for me, is get yourself some good deodorant. Write a 5-star review for this podcast and you might be one of the lucky people to win one at the end of April. Or if you cannot wait and you are impatient like I am, send me an email and I will send you the link if you're in the UK, and if you're elsewhere I will show you how you can get your hands on it and I will make sure that it gets to you. Now, if this is leaving you feeling hot and sweaty because you don't know where to start, you don't know what exercises you should be doing, you are lacking motivation, then please, my friend, you are not on your own. I would love to be your coach and hold your hand through this process. I'm really excited to share this with you because I have opened up some slots in my diary to take on some online personal training clients. So what this looks like for you is a monthly 60-minute one-to-one call on Zoom where we dig into your goals and we look at your schedule so we can figure out where you are going to squeeze in your exercise. We're going to talk about the type of exercise that you want to do. And then I am going to build you a personalised workout program to follow for 4 weeks. And this will also include a short video that will show you the correct technique for the exercises that I give you to do. So you're going to have 60 minutes on Zoom with me once a month. You also get my downloadable fitness planner for free. And this is a really great resource because as we check in with each other every month, you can bring that planner to our sessions. You can talk me through what has worked well for you, what hasn't worked well for you. You can keep a track of all of your exercise, your water, your nutrition. There is space for meal planning and all of those wonderful things in that book. And we can use that as a resource when we come back and meet each month. As well as the monthly 60-minute Zoom call, you are also going to get access to me via Voxer. I'm going to check in with you via Voxer each week to see how you are doing. You could screenshot me some pictures of your planner. You could talk me through a workout that you maybe struggled with. Maybe you could talk to me about how motivated you're feeling. We can celebrate your good days, and I can be there to help and support you when you are having more challenging days. So that comes as part of the monthly package. So let me just recap for you. You get a 60-minute one-to-one Zoom coaching call with me. I will write you a 4-week personalized workout program and send you a short video showing you the correct technique for the exercises that I give to you. You get the free download of my fitness planner, and you also get access to me via Voxer in between the monthly calls. This coaching operates in the same way as the gym membership. It is a monthly rolling subscription, so it makes it more affordable. Before you get started, it's important to remember that this is about making an investment and a commitment to yourself. So you need to be prepared to be working towards this health and fitness goal over at least 3 months as a minimum period. Although most of the women I work with, we tend to work together for about 3 to 6 months. And my goal is to set you up for success so that you learn lots of different strategies that you can implement in your day-to-day life so that you can take control of your health and fitness journey. My goal is always to give you the tools that you need to be the best, healthiest version of yourself. Now, if you are here, I want to say thank you for listening to the end of this episode, and I am going to reward you with a special discount code that is going to give you a discount off the one-to-one coaching program. All you need to do is send me an email with the title Coaching Discount, and I will send you the code so that you can snag your spot with a special discount for sticking around till the end of the podcast. I hope you found today's episode helpful, my friend. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always, talking with you. Have an amazing day, have an amazing week, and I will speak to you in the next episode. I hope you loved today's episode and that you learned something, and I pray it blessed you in some way. If so, take a moment to share this with a friend, and I would love it if you could take just 30 seconds for me to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, because it's the only way I know you like the show, and I love hearing from you too.